just chatting itself, like, I mean, if you see a lot of the cam girls, like, they do the same behavior as just chatting, sitting in front of the camera, just talking, saying thanks for the donations, getting a little giddy
Well,
every
they do
now and
a
then.
little more than just chat on the other
Oh
side.
yeah, it's not. I would say it's even worse. Like if there's any, basically everything besides the sexual act, like it's actually
Yep.
worse on just chatting than it is chatterbait. And chatterbait, they actually sit there and like they talk. Like it's either they're doing that or they're doing the sex. On just chatting, it's in between the chatterbait, just
Yep.
chatting and
Wait,
sex.
train. Would you say the intention to sexualize viewers should be like what the fuck on Twitch, or?
Honestly, I don't get to be honest. My actual take is I don't care. I just don't like. Here's what I don't like. I cannot stand, and I see this with everybody. Not everybody. I see this
Fuck
with
Mr.
everyone that
Cuck
I
Mood
have an
Honey.
issue with. I don't like that they want to bake the cake and they want to eat the cake. They want to do sexualized content, and then when you make a comment on it, you're a sexist and misogynist. I don't like that. I don't care. Listen, I don't care. Sexual content on this platform will probably bring me more viewers because I'm a just chatting streamer myself. They'll probably come to me after they or after they watch their stream, right? Like, so I don't care. I just don't like that I can't make a joke or comment without being called a sexist because they want to sit there, bake their cake, eat the cake, gain everything from their cake. But if someone wants to comment or look at their cake, they're a sexist for it. I don't like that. So I comment against that. I don't give a fuck if Just Chatting section has this or that. I just don't like that they get to sit there and destroy anyone they want because of the time. I can't stand that. I can't. The fucked up thing is, here's the thing. Listen, when Canute goes on camera and he flexes his muscles, or you see his tight ass and his fucking tight leggings, and someone says, "Yo, Canute, your ass is ugly," or "Hey, Canute, your ass is nice," he doesn't turn around and say, "What the fuck? I didn't wear this." Like he knows. Canute admits what he's doing when he's wearing his muscle shirt, when he's wearing his tight fucking leggings. He knows what he's doing. He's showing off his body because he's
What's
proud of
happened
it. There's
today?
nothing wrong with it. What's wrong is if he's doing it for the attention. But as soon as one negative attention comes, because that's the way the world works, when you're going for positive attention, there's always going to be negative as well. There is always a win. There's always a loss. There is always positive to negative. When you want to sit there and do something to gain all the good, and then one bad happens, and you don't want to sit there and say, okay, you know what I'm doing is kind of on the edge. It's going to attract a little bit of this. Instead of owning it and accepting the consequence to my edgy action, I want to sit here and play the high road. I want to grandstand and say, no, this guy's a sexist and a misogynist for even looking. Basically, the meta of Twitch is this. If you're
Wait, okay,
paying,
wait. Hold on, because we have to chill a little bit, okay? I don't think anybody's
why?
ever said that anybody is like a sexist or a misogynist person just for looking. I think the problems usually come when we start
100%
getting.
has.
Okay, I don't think those are like generally the insults that people are focused
They
on.
are.
I think that generally
They
the
are.
problem is when people no, I think that's problems when people start sending harassing messages, or when people start acting crazy in chat. I don't think any Twitch streamer, I could be wrong, but I don't think any girl streamers are like, I hate it when there are guys that look at me sexually in chat. Like that's not usually what happens.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are.
I have
100% there are.
never in my life seen that complaint.
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Yes, there are. 100% there are. Listen, dude.
I have never seen it. I would be
get
shocked if I ever
100%.
saw a clip that was shown that shows somebody doing it.
Pretty much the general gist of it is, as long as you're paying for it, I don't care. But as soon as you stop paying, if you're looking, you're a pervert. That's literally the general
This
gist
is,
of it.
I have never, not only have I never heard this take before, I'm positive that no big female streamer's ever given that take before. There's no possible way.
I have never said big female streamers.
Wait, so then who's saying this, that it's so important to bring up? Some random no-name shitter? Why even bother bringing it up then?
It could be a man or a woman. It doesn't matter who it is.
Wait, the way that you're making these statements, you're making it sound like this is like a common sentiment across like some of the streamers on Twitch.
My example is Canute, so I'm not.
Wait,
going
so
on
Canute has made these
no.
complaints before? Canute gets mad if people watch him but don't give money?
No, I said Canute does it right, but it's man and women, Destiny. So I don't know what trap you're putting in.
I'm not trying to trap you. I'm just saying
platform.
you're making it sound like this is a huge thing that a lot of people on the platform complain about. I don't think this happens. I don't hear these complaints.
No, it's not a huge thing that the general population does, and that's why I've multiple times said that what I'm referring to in my speech and what I talk about and why it's not like sexist. It's a small percentage. I've always in my rants and speeches have said I'm referring to the 1%, not the 99%, and that's why I hate when articles or other communities take me out of context and say I hate 99% of this specific category when it's not the case. I've always said it's a 1% thing. I support and I love everybody. It's a 1% thing. I've always preached this exact thing.
Well, yeah, but like but like this is like really weaselly now. When you say like, oh, like this is a big problem, like people complain about this or that, blah 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 blah. This is a huge thing. And I'm like, well, who says that? Wait, but then I say, well, like who actually says this? You're like, well, nobody big, nobody important. It's like, okay, well, I can find anybody saying literally anything.
To clarify, I didn't want to say anyone big or anyone important because I don't want to get specific with names.
Well, I mean, if they say this, you can get specific, like to a stream.
Nope, I can't get specific. What are you talking about?
Okay.
If I can't say a certain word, like you think if I call 3 specific streamers out right now, that I'm not going to get in trouble for that?
Okay, but if you're not brave enough to call out a specific streamer, then you probably just shouldn't say anything, right? Because like right now you basically because the vision.
Enough.
Because the vision you've given right now is that like every single female streamer on this platform like engages in this horrible shit and they're all dumb as fuck.
No, I don't give that vision.
That's the vision. That's absolutely the vision you've given.
No, it's not. I always clarify. It's a small percentage, and I just explained to you what I'm talking about. I told you that I just said I don't care if there's sexual content. I don't care what content there is. I specifically told you the standard that I don't like, and I said it's only the people that want to have sexual content. But if the person isn't paying for it or if they're not doing this, then they call you a sexist, pervert, or misogynist. That's what I said. I gave you the specific parameters to what I don't like. I never said all just chatting streamers do this. I never said all girls or all guys do this. I said what I don't like are the people who come on stream, know what they're doing, and then one negative comment comes, and you're a sexist for that negative comment. And I gave Canute as an example.
Wait, hold on. I don't even know what this example is. So someone is streaming, somebody comes into their chat and makes a sexist comment, and then somebody complains about a sexist comment. What's wrong with that?
No, listen. If Canute wears his muscle shirt and someone comments on his arm, whether it's positive or negative, if it says, "Hey, you have small arms," just because it's a negative comment toward what Canute is showing off doesn't make that guy a sexist, objectifying misogynist. The person's stream is based around objectification. They are objectifying themselves to gain any good attention and any monetary value they can.
I'm super curious. What do you think is the difference between objectifying and like sexualizing? Or do you think there is a difference, or do you think it's the same thing?
I think there's a difference, but I think it becomes one and the same on Twitch because it's fighting for one thing, to just destroy anyone that doesn't agree with what's being shown in that specific stream.
What do you think is like the difference? Like you can't really objectify yourself, so I don't know what that means.
Man.
Wait, shut up, stop, shut the fuck up. Or I'm kicking you out of my server.
How can you not objectify yourself?
Okay, so my understanding, the difference between objectifying somebody versus sexualizing somebody, okay? If you want to sexualize anybody, you can sexualize anybody you want. You can look at them, you can think they're sexy, and that's fine. Objectifying somebody is when you subject them to a treatment that they didn't consent to just because you want to. You're treating them like an object.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If someone decides, if someone wants to show off a part of their body, if they want to incentivize that piece of their body, incentivize the viewing of it by, let's say, selling it. Let's say you decide to sell your nudes for money, right? And that nude, let's say, leaks.
Okay.
Are you not objectifying yourself when you're selling your body for money? Are you not objectifying yourself?
If you want to sell nude pictures of your body, I don't think there's anything that you're objectifying.
But are you not objectifying yourself?
No, of course not. What do you mean?
Oh, Jesus Christ. So you're not objectifying yourself when you sell your body for money. You're not objectifying yourself.
Do you
don't believe that?
Do you think you're objectifying yourself when you sell your body into any type of wage labor? I mean, like we do this like all the time for different things. Like, no, I don't necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, like depending on like the
we are.
type of like phrase or the type of semantics you want to engage in, we could say that's a type of objectification.
Yeah.
But like I don't. But
sure.
it's but no because what you're trying to do is you're trying to get like a really specific like definition here for objectifying, but then you're going to broaden it to include all forms of sexual harassment, which isn't fair. If somebody wants to sell, if somebody wants to sell.
I am not.
If somebody,
I don't know what you. I'm actually shocked. I am not defending any sexual harassment.
I'm not saying you're defending sexual harassment. I'm saying that when somebody sells nudes of their body, that doesn't all of a sudden give you carte blanche or give every single person carte blanche to make public comments about their body. That's not necessarily like one doesn't logically follow from the other. It doesn't have to.
Yeah, I just want to express my support here for Train.
Fuck off. Nice.
For the audit.
Okay, like do you understand or do you disagree with that? Like if just because somebody sells nudes doesn't mean that all of a sudden everyone else has the right to be like, oh yeah, like I want to fuck the shit out of that chick publicly or whatever. Like, oh yeah, like fuck that that whore, I like her tits or whatever. Like That doesn't necessarily give you the right to say that to somebody
So
publicly.
if someone sells nudes publicly, and so someone doesn't have a right to say I like your tits,
I mean, you.
that is shameless. That's exactly shamelessness I'm talking about. And I'm shocked by this take from you, Destiny.
You can do this if you want, but if they ban you in their chat, I mean, like, if they don't want those types of comments, like, that's fine. That's on them. Just because somebody dresses in a certain way, even if it's in a provocative manner, doesn't mean that you have a right to make any comment you want about them, and that they have an obligation to hear those comments and not complain.
But it doesn't make you a sexist, misogynist, or objectifying pig when they themselves are promoting that objectifying behavior.
Correct. Wait. This is the part that makes you a misogynist, okay? Is if let's say that I see a girl and she has nice boob pics or whatever, and let's say that I think for whatever reason she's streaming on a public platform, and I feel like I could say it. And now that we're already kind of on whatever grounds, but we'll say I grant this, right? So I get in a chat like, hey, you have really nice boobs, right? Then let's say that the person bans me because they say like, I don't appreciate those types of comments. Then I can be like, oh, well, okay, I guess she doesn't like those types of comments, and I go away. As soon as I say, well, hold on, you dumb fucking thought whore, okay? You have boob pics out there. I have a right to say these comments in your chat, and I ought to be heard. And the fact that you ban me is ridiculous and double standards. Like, well, hold on. Well, now it's like, well, what the fuck? You don't have a right to say
that.
Well, okay, wait. So then
that.
what's the problem? If you make a comment about somebody's body in a chat and they don't want to hear those comments, that's on them. They have every right to do that. That's it.
That's completely right. I agree with that completely. But that's it. Just ban the person, move on. But if you want to label the person a pervert, sexist, or misogynist, which is exactly what happens. Do you understand?
Only when people push it. Only when people push it when they're upset that they get banned for making comments.
Why are you defending the benefit of the doubt on the other side? You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You're saying only when pushes. Listen, if you just told me you've never seen any of this, but suddenly now you have the knowledge that people only do it when it's pushed. How do you know this when earlier you didn't have any knowledge of this even going on in the first place?
Because when I asked for examples, you said that you backpedaled really hard and was like, well, this is just like 1% of people do this, which makes it sound like, okay, well, this probably doesn't really happen much at all.
No, it doesn't happen much at all. Listen, it doesn't happen much at all in the sense of if you compare every single streamer, yes, it doesn't happen much because there's like only 1% of the content is like this. But the problem is that 1% shouldn't be ignored, because that 1% is enough to damage someone's reputation. You understand? We can't say, okay, Alinity only accused one person of saying rape, so let's just totally ignore it. It was only one person.
When it happens,
0.001% of the population. Fuck it. That's damaging to that person. That's not okay. It should be held accountable.
Yeah, and
that's an issue. So I preach against that.
Yeah, and when it happens to that one person, then you should preach about it. You should be like, hey, this is fucked up. This shouldn't happen. But the way that you're talking about it, you make it sound like this is a platform-wide thing that's occurring like on a daily basis.
I've never said it's a platform-wide thing. I've always told where the specifics are. I don't make fun of the Fortnite section, do I? I don't make fun of any other section on Twitch besides the Just Chatting section. And in the Just Chatting section, I don't even make fun of everybody. I literally clown on very, very specific things that I see that are just wrong and they're not held accountable for. It is not okay.
Okay, so would you say that this is like all of the Just Chatting section or a small minority of the Just Chatting section?
It's a small minority of the Just Chatting section.
Okay. So like our complaint then is that there is a small minority of the Just Chatting section that calls people sexist for no reason.
I have a question.
No, it's not. Yes, it's that and it's more.
Okay, wait. Well, what's the more? Well, now we want to know.
The more part is the power. Do you understand the power you have to do that? The power you have with no oversight, no accountability. That's an issue. The power to be able to just say this guy's a sexist and not realize the ramifications and the fucked upness that can ruin someone for having that there. The power is the issue. The fact that there's no oversight.
Okay, but
that someone can come out
and I agree this could be.
They want about
I agree.
Regardless of their own actions is an issue.
Yeah. And I agree that this could be bad, but I don't think this happens like anywhere near that often. I mean, like I could be wrong, but I can't think of anybody that's been ruined on Twitch because of something like this happening.
I would have been ruined if I did not have a following. And people that are ruined, you don't hear about them because they don't have a following.
Okay.
Issue.
Wait. So firstly, so yourself as an example, you're bigger now than you ever have been. So you clearly weren't ruined, firstly. Secondly, you can't say, well, the other people you haven't heard of
because I was big. Do you understand? That's my point. That's not okay. We should have.
You weren't ruined because you're big, but small people, nobody gives a fuck about accusations made against them.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
But they don't gain traction. Those people aren't ruined either. Like...
Yes, they are, but we don't know about it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not okay.
Okay.
What Train is saying is they're self-destructive, the smaller ones.
What
right?
I'm saying
Okay,
is
so
we shouldn't.
They
I
cling
understand.
onto
I understand.
someone and
Okay,
destroy-
so we've backed
What I'm
into
saying
there is
no,
a
no,
1%
real quick.
minority on just chatting that might demonize some people, but the people that end up getting ruined are so small we've never heard about them. So that's like the corner we're in now.
What I'm saying is we shouldn't brush off the fact that I got away. We shouldn't say, oh, well, did you end up ruined Train? No, so who cares? That's the most ridiculous bullshit I've heard in my life. I'm not going to let it came out a victor. Are you kidding me? That's like me saying you should go be friends with everyone that tried backstabbing you because you ended up winning and you're okay. Fuck no, you're going to learn from everything and you're going to change what you preach and who you preach to and who you fuck with. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I got away with it, so fuck it. Who cares? This is okay. I'm going to say, yo, this system's fucked up. This person just did this. I'm thankful I got away from this. But the fact that there was no accountability, there was no oversight, the person didn't get in trouble, it shows that this is a normalized thing. It is okay for someone to come out and say, hey, this person said this, and hey, they ended up being wrong. This could have ruined the person.
We can't really. I'm super curious because we unfortunately we just can't do it if you're not willing to give examples though. Because like I just don't think that this happens anywhere near enough like that it warrants like this type of like huge complaint about it.
Saying it doesn't happen enough is a cop-out. It's ridiculous.
No, wait, hold on. You're the one giving the cop-out. You won't give me a single example to tango with. How can I possibly like have an argument against you?
My hands are tied. I'm sorry. My hands are tied. I'm not going to give you examples so you can have content for your 20K viewer fucking stream. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not going to get clipped out of context to sit here and give you an example specifically to.
Okay, well, like this is something that frustrates me. Okay, I'm frustrated by all of the big male streamers that go around and then they rape all the female streamers over and over again. But I'm not going to give you any examples. I'm just going to tell you that it happens amongst the minority. Yeah, that all of this rape happens over and over again. All these people getting raped constantly out there. It's a fucking rape fest. But I'm not going to give you like names or anything. Like, do you realize how absurd that is? Like, what kind of meaningful conversation can we have there?
Technically speaking, when you're saying people are constantly getting raped, you're already assuming that there's way more than just a small fraction of people, 1%. You saying people are
okay? 1% of the people are getting raped by 1% of the streamers constantly, but I can't tell you who it is.
That's an issue. I mean, I don't need you to tell me who it is. That's a big issue. I'd support you.
Okay.
Right? I mean, if someone says that, I mean, what you're preaching right there, that's fucked up. Yeah, I support it.
Okay. Go chime on in, John.
Yeah, no, bro, Destiny, that to go to that rape thing, you're doing the extreme Jumpstony thing. Like, relax with that. We're not trying to.
Fuck off! Will you do an extreme jump?
Yeah, you got you. Why don't you like? Why is it?
Hold on! Whoa! Shut the fuck up! Why is it extreme for me to make the hypothetical that some people are raping other people, but it's not extreme for somebody else to say a lot of women are gaslighting the fuck out of men and
because the way.
Wait! You don't have to give an example. You're not coming with it. That's fine. I'm just saying it makes
sense.
sense.
I'm sick of this shit. No. I'm actually getting to a point of uncaged. I'm getting so sick of this. The fact you deny this. Listen, right now you're going through a little high school phase. You're fucking simped by all these girls.
Oh no, Trey! No, not my last friend. Don't do this to me. Oh God.
Yo, relax, guys. Relax.
No, you want to go to war? I'll go to war. Listen, Destiny.
No. There's no.
You want to go to fucking war? I'll go to war. Let's go.
I didn't make any personal attacks against you at all. I didn't say anything like that.
Relax. Yo, hold on.
For example, I'll give you an example. Here we go. I'll start with one. Here we go. Miss Kith, S-Fan, and that girl. She literally had every power. Everyone believed her. We had to go back to VODs. Mm-hmm. They still got in trouble. She still was let off free. What the fuck is that? There's one example. You want to explain that?
Yeah, I agree. That was fucked up. But that was like a one-off example. These things don't happen all the time.
It doesn't matter. You cannot say these don't happen enough to care about them. That is such a bullshit cop-out. You are literally saying there's so little of people we shouldn't care. I care. It's what I want to preach about because that little
Do you understand the difference between saying like there have been some fucked up things that have happened on Twitch before versus saying this is a broad problem that's happening all the time?
I've never said it's a broad problem. I've never said it's a broad problem. I've always said these things happen. It's a 1% of the population I talk about. I've always said this. You've put broad into my mouth.
I'm not. I just like I don't know if you're either like willfully not understanding how your messages can be interpreted or maybe you're just not aware of it. I don't know.
How are you talking to me about messages being interpreted when you just argued your N-word usage in private?
What does that have to do with anything?
Because you're preaching how I'm not realizing the effect of it when you yourself don't realize it in your own situation. What the fuck are you talking about to me?
If you want, we can go back over this conversation. But what I'm telling you, whether you acknowledge it or not, is that your take made it sound like lots of women on Twitch are accusing other people of sexual harassment or whatever when it's not true. That's what you're accusing. When I tried to push you on
No, I
that, you
never
backed
said-
up into
first of
saying,
all,
well, it's just
I have
1%.
never,
And then you
ever-
backed up into give me one example
I
of,
have
by the way, of
no,
two
I
people,
never backed up.
of
I
two
will
people that are
pull-
doing amazing. Ms. Kiff and
Oh
S-Fan
my
are more
God.
popular than they've ever been, ever. Okay? So it's not even like these guys' lives are. Their situation
you
was
are
fucked up and it
triggering
was
me
wrong.
beyond belief. I have
Okay.
never said first of all, I know for a fact I have never said all these women are accusing men. I have never said that. That's one. Number two, I have said 1% for 2 years, and I will get my community to pull clips if I will pull clips. Yo, if my community's in here, you
Okay,
pull clips
then
of when I
maybe
said
I've
1%.
okay, then wait, maybe I've misrepresented you. Then just tell me, what is your actual position then now? How
I
big is this problem? How often does it
specifically
happen? Okay, go.
I specifically said men and women. I give Canute as an example of wearing shirts and going for that attention himself.
Okay, wait, hold on. Do you think it happens just as
Okay.
often between men as it does women?
Listen, I'm not gonna I don't know the statistics of what.
Oh, come on. Just give me, do you think that men and women do it just as much?
Falsifying the Christian God.
On this platform, do I think there are just as many Canutes as there are, let's say, Bridgets? No.
Okay,
No, I don't
so
think
which
there are
side
just
does
as
it
many Canutes as
way
there are
more?
Bridgets.
Just be honest with your position. Or if you don't want to talk about this, we don't have to talk about it. But like,
You're putting me. Listen, you know where I'm at. You know I'm in a place that I can't say much. You know this. So when you're using this as a credibility to win the argument, you know I can't give. Listen, like you know the answer yourself. If you're gonna argue that there are more Canutes on this platform than there are certain female streamers, then like you know the answer, but you want me to say it and it's gonna get me in trouble, and you know it. You know the answer to your own fucking question.
Guys, this is really going way too far, man. Andy, why don't you guys do this on a planned day where you write down what you want to say, not in an emotional state? Let's just fucking
Well,
switch
yeah,
that.
I mean, I understand. I have to be like, if I have a lot of
Hold
viewers,
on,
like I have
hold
to be
on.
somewhat responsible in terms of like the messaging. Like I can't just like let a bunch of shit go.
I've been super responsible with what I've said. Like I've been super responsible on my platform. I ban anything that's extreme or
Like you
hateful.
literally have a tweet that says like this tweet to sign the petition to change the just chatting section of Twitch to just chatterbait. Like how are you gonna sit here and try to act like right now you're backing this into just like a few streamers when you clearly make these comments? It's not like it encompasses a lot more than just a couple different streamers.
It's funny, dude.
And
It's
in that
funny.
tweet, what do I say? And in that tweet, what do I say? I say as one of the just chatting streamers. So at that point, like you can just tell that is literally just that's that little bit of exaggeration for humor. Obviously, the whole just chatting section is not that. I'm in there. Am I doing sexual content? No. It's just that. It's a little exaggeration for the fucking shock.
Okay, what about this tweet? Remember all those Instagram models last year? They're all quote unquote Twitch streamers now. Does this sound like just a tiny minority? Like,
yeah, it is. How many Instagram models do we have on Twitch? How many? 2 or 3? That's a tiny minority. Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, listen. Then maybe we just disagree on the messaging. Then to me, it sounds like
Steven,
what?
You're wrong, dude. That tweet is funny, man. That tweet was hilarious. The chatterbait. That was hilarious, dude.
I'm not saying they're not funny. I'm just saying that the impression that it gives.
Bring it up on stream like that.
Impression that it gives. You are sounding like the very people that came after you because they could make you gain something. Like you're literally gaslighting the fuck out of me right now. It's insane.
I'm not gaslighting you.
You are literally. It's insane. You're being so fucked. Like you know exactly what I mean. I know deep down you know what I mean when I say what I say. I know you know what I mean. I know you do. But instead, publicly, you're choosing to play dumb and just asking me these questions that no matter how I answer them, I'm gonna sound like a fucking idiot. And it's so fucking stupid.
Guys, it sounded like we went in a few different directions. Like the conversation started with just talking about, you know, what the sexualization of streamers, but then we kind of went in this direction of like a bunch of streamers are making comments about like, hey, if you look at me this way or you make a comment about it, you're objectifying me. But then we started getting into accusations. So like, can we like narrow it down and get to exactly
clearly Train and
hold on, John. Let me just say one thing. I actually get both of your points, right? From Train's standpoint, I completely know where he is. I know the risk of his ban is very fucking serious. And from Steven's point of view, he just doesn't hold back when it comes to discussion. He's not thinking, oh, wait, I can't say this. This might get you in trouble. Oh, I can't say that. I can't bring up that. He goes balls to the wall. So that's where both your sides at, and I understand both point of views. But you know, it's scary going hard balls to the wall.
Destiny, what you're doing right now is so out of context, and you know it.
But you've made like a million tweets like this.
That post is real. That post is real. How does that post assume anything I just preached about? That post has nothing to do with anything we just talked about. That is just truth.
Why can't
How
we
can
just
you not step back?
Why can't we just agree to not talk about this right now? Then is that okay?
Because you're still showing Twitter clips. I'm playing victim when I'm bringing it up to defend myself.
Because we're fighting about because I can't platform this type of speech to my audience without challenging it. It would be incredibly irresponsible. Yes, because what you're saying leaves the impression that all of the just chatting section is a just chatterbait section. That's what your like big rampage like basically made it sound like. Now you might disagree that that's how it could be characterized, but I happen to know that a lot of people could take it and run with it that way. So of course I have to give some kind of challenge to it. If you want to talk about this, we can. If you don't want to talk about it, that's totally fine too. But I can't just let it go unopposed completely. I have to give my perspective on it because people are here on my stream.
Listen, you are doing what Hassan did to you in the N-word debate. 100% you're doing to me what he did to you, and it is so disgusting. If you wanted to truly platform it correctly, you just said, hey, Train, is this what you mean by that? I just need to clarify for everyone. This is what you meant, right?
That's what I asked, but every time I ask, no. Whoa. We can literally, wait, listen. No. Train, we can go back in the clips. All I asked you were questions about your beliefs, and you got mad. I asked you, what percentage of streamers do this? I asked you, do you think men do this as much as women? Every time I ask you a question, you get more and more upset. That's all I'm doing.
Listen, you could have said, Train, let me reword for you, since you're not good at wording things, and we all know you're not good at wording things. Let me reword for you, Train. This, after knowing you for 3.5 fucking years and arguing about this with you for 3.5 fucking years, this is what you meant, just so I can clarify my viewership. I go, yes, that's what I meant. Thank you, Destiny. That's the way it should have went if you're truly looking out for me. Not this bullshit that Hassan pulled on you during the N-word shit, where basically you're trying to one-up gotcha and like it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Almost every accusation that comes out, whether it's true or false, ruins the guy. You understand?
Nope, that's not true, but I understand.
It is true.
It's not
true. It is true.
It's not true.
If someone calls you a rapist,
is so
Destiny,
true, dude.
If someone calls you a rapist, Destiny, and you don't have the big and you don't have the big platform you have.
Okay. There we go. Now we qualified it a little bit. People with big platforms generally aren't punished for that kind of stuff. For example, Trump is still the president of the United States. For example, Kavanaugh still made it to the Supreme Court. For example, Kobe Bryant still plays in the NBA. Like, there's like a ton of.
Don't you agree? But don't you agree the same way you have the responsibility to clarify to your new viewers of what I mean? I have the responsibility to clarify, hey, just because I'm safe doesn't mean I'm not going to preach this to the people that aren't. What I went through, regardless of me not being buried because I have an amazing community that understands what I'm saying, it still put me through hell for about. Even till now, you can see I'm still salty. I'm still going through my PTSD of it. Like, that's not okay. That feeling, listen, Alinity, what she did, what I still feel to this day, it is not okay. And she walks away and smiles and smirks freely as if nothing happened. That is not okay. I don't care if it happens once every 10 years. It is not okay. And I don't care if that's not enough for you. For me, that's enough.
I agree. That's fucked up. Sure. But like
worse than having you physically jumped and beat the fuck that don't happen.
For me, it's enough. And honestly, the Miskiff S-Fan thing and many other bans across the platform, many other things that happen on the Raj show, people are called sexist and whatever the fuck. And Raj stops it. Raj does his best to stop it, and I applaud him for that. This dude is doing his work. I'm in DMs with him all the time. We talk about it all the time. He hates when that happens. It's just hard because his chat doesn't realize he needs to step in, and then his chat gets mad at him because they don't understand. He needs to step in and back up Slicker every now and then. Like.
Okay, I understand. We don't need a ramble. We don't need a ramble for 10 hours.
No, you wait. You wait for once.
For once? You've been talking 99% of this conversation.
Yeah, and you've been talking 99% of the last 10 years on Twitch. So I'm going to fucking
Because on my stream I do, and you do on your stream. What do you mean? Of course.
Listen, I'm just sick that you can't see because it hasn't affected you yet. This goes back to the same thing. I'm going to give you
What do you mean it hasn't affected me yet? Careful. Remember who you're talking to, okay? Chill. I've had plenty of shit fucking hurled at me, including some bullshit rape accusations before, okay? Don't act like you're talking to some rando at fucking Twitch.
If that's the case, then I apologize and I retract that.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. Okay, I'm going to try so hard to meet you in the middle, okay? Because I like you, okay? I'm going to try really hard, okay? There are times when people do things that are really fucked up on Twitch. I don't deny it. That fucking girl with S-Fan and Miskiff, not only was that fucked up, I'm not just saying that now, because what the fuck is that worth? When it happened, I was saying that's incredibly fucked up. And I took S-Fan and Miskiff's side very publicly for that. Not like behind the scenes, told Raj, but very publicly I said that girl could get fucked. That shit was super fucked up, that I thought it was insanely fucked. It was so fucked, I thought she didn't even do it. I was like, it must have been her lawyers or somebody that reached out, because holy shit, that is so fucked. But I very publicly took the side on that. These things do happen. I'm just saying that when you speak in generalities, generalities, which maybe you don't mean to do, but sometimes it sounds like when you speak in generalities, taken in conjunction with like the things you tweet, sometimes it feels like we're making a broader attack on like the entire just chatting section sometimes, which I don't think is necessarily fair and can lead people to say a lot of like really fucked up things and or make like really fucked up observations or generalities about that community, which I think is harmful to that community as a whole. That's what I would say.
Okay, listen. Listen. I can't see the reason I can't accept that argument from you is because you are doing what
I came to the middle. I just want you to be clear. I came to the middle as hard as I could there, okay?
I get you came to the middle, but to me it seems like to me it's very snaky to say, well, I need to care about the effect what you say has.
And I understand that you think it's snaky, but I think it's equally snaky of you to start off with such a strong statement about all of this section. They're like, well, it's just 1% of a minority of people that do it sometimes to 1 or 2 people. I would say that that's pretty snaky. You guys never acknowledge the other side of it. Like I do acknowledge
the other side of it.
You realize that like as a male streamer, you could legit fucking rape a girl, get accused of it, and she could end up more damaged than you, right? Like that shit can happen as well, but we never acknowledge that side of things. Like I know for a fact that shit not only can happen, but it does happen in the public sphere. Like, and it has happened in the past. So like the idea that like it only goes one way is a little bit disingenuous in how you present things.
Nobody said it goes one way.
You might not say, no, listen, I know you're going to say nobody said that it goes one way, but that's kind of how it sounds when you give these takes like this over and over again. And if it's going to happen on my stream, I have to be careful and say like, hey, like there's 2 sides to this, or I have to push back against it.
Let me get back to what I was saying about snakiness. What I meant by snakiness was exactly this. How are you going to sit here and say you're going to argue for the betterment of the effect it has of what I say because it could hurt some people when you just argued that you saying that everyone in private, you don't give a fuck of the effect it has on everyone?
Because there's a huge difference.
Are you going to tell me?
Because no. Because you're on my stream, Train. You're on my stream sharing these views. I don't share the jokes that you. It's like you miss like the whole conversation, my dude. Stop. No, wait, hold on. Wait, I'm not being fucking fake.
You are trying to look good in front of people.
I'm not trying to look good in front of anybody. Oh my god, dude. You're the one that brought this topic up. Don't bring it up on my stream if you don't want. What do you think, I'm going to let you sit here and fucking preach for 2 hours about some Squad W bullshit? I'm not going to let you do that. This is my fucking platform. If you're going to say some crazy shit, then I'm going to come back against it. No. Hold on. You said that you've done this like 3 times. No. Stop. No. Stop. I didn't blow it up. We can go back in the clips. I'll bet you $500 right now that you're the one that started this conversation, okay? Don't take that bet because I don't want to take your money, okay? So stop. No, stop. You brought this up 3 times now, okay? You keep saying, oh, well, you're defending like the N-word, blah, blah, blah. I've said that in private, I say things that I want to say publicly. If you want to give these takes in private, then by all means do it. But as soon as you come onto my platform and you say it publicly, well, now I have to push back against it. That's all I'm saying. Stop trying to bring up my past drama like it's some kind of own against me. I'm completely consistent on this position. I have different stances on public or private language. You're making this very public right now, so I'm going to publicly speak out against it. That's it.
I'm using it. No. Listen. The public aspect has nothing to do with your usage on private. The public aspect is the inconsistency in your care for the effect. I am sick of hearing you talk about intention versus effect when you can't apply it to your own fucking wrongdoings. Are you kidding me?
I talk about my intention or effect all the time. That's why I was one of the first streamers on this platform to not use the F word. It's why I don't use autistic or retarded anymore. And it's why I'm talking against what you're saying right now.
Argument from your mouth. I don't ever want to hear an effect argument from your mouth ever a fucking again. Ever. Okay. Ever. I don't want to hear an effect argument from your mouth. Ever to me.
Listen, all you have to do
fucking lecture for someone else. I don't want to hear it.
All you have to do, I'm not giving you a lecture, but if you're going to come onto my stream and you're going to give your takes, then you have to be prepared that I might push back against it. That's it. You did give a take. You didn't make a joke. You started giving a whole fucking spiel about just chatting streamers and double standards and all that shit. If you're going to give that take, I'm going to push back against it if I disagree.
Pull the clip up. Let's watch it.
Do you want to? Okay, wait. Hold on. Okay, wait. Okay, we're not going to do any arguments. Let's go back in the stream and let's see where this all started. Do you want to? Okay, wait.
Sorry, I said, hey, we should redirect Chatterbait to just chatting. That's exactly a joke I made. And then you said, wait. I got to clarify. What do you mean by this?
Okay, so you went on for a full 4 minutes before I finally interject. And I just say like, hey, just to be clear, like, hold on. Or misogynist person just for looking. I don't think anybody says that people are just misogynistic just for looking at streamers. This was after you said that the just chatting section will be redirecting to Chatterbait. It's when you said just chatting streamers are worse than people that are on Chatterbait. It's when you say women want to bake their cake and eat it too when they complain about people making comments.
I didn't say women. I did not say
no,
women.
You're right. Oh my god. I'm sorry. You didn't say women. You could be referring to men here as well. Although later I want to ask you, do men do this or do women do this more? You said that women do it a lot more, but we'll just say that it's for both sexes here, right?
I said you can answer your own question.
Sure. You said that when Canute goes on camera, he doesn't get mad at people people that comment on it, and then he accepts the consequences, whatever that means, of his actions, okay? So you went on this for a full 4 minutes before I interject. So don't say that I'm the one that brought this up or that I've been bullying you.
Listen,
okay, you gave a whole bunch of views before I even interjected at all.
I gave my views. Why though? Why? In between all that, who was asking, what do you feel? How do you feel about this? John Zerka and Harkdan were both asking, so how do you feel about this, Train? What do you feel about this? I was answering their questions. If you have a problem with the platform, you tell them to stop asking me questions. I'm answering them. If there's an issue, say, yo, guys, let's do this off stream.
Wait. I don't care if you answer their questions, and I don't care if they ask you questions. You're the one that's super triggered right now. I'll have this conversation all day. You're the one that's getting super fucking like riled up over it. Like if you want to talk about this, we can talk about it. If they want to ask those questions, they can ask those questions. If you're the one that's going to be ultra fucking, ignited over this, well then you shouldn't answer the questions.
Earlier in bed,
true. You went
after
me too, Train.
In bed on the laptop, I feel like you're being super disingenuous. I feel like we've had this conversation how many times, Destiny? We've had it hundreds of times. You know what I'm saying. You do know what I'm saying. And you know that I don't. Everyone in your chat knows this too. I'm not good at explaining. Ever. You could just explain it for me. We could be done with it. Instead, you sat there asking me questions, baiting me into 7 different things. You know I don't explain it well. You know what I mean.
Okay, if that's the case, then just tell me, hey, I'm not comfortable talking about this right now, or hey, we can talk about this later. Listen, I love you, buddy, okay? I'm not trying to make you look like anything, but I'm just asking you a question to figure out what you think.
I want to clarify that. Earlier, it was made look as if Squad W is just some fucking sexist, misogynist movement, and it's not. People are gonna cap that, but it's not. And
it's not, and there's more girls than guys after what I saw at TwitchCon. You gotta really reiterate
very hard in my chat to fucking sit there and ban hateful content and ban any dumb shit that comes out of anyone's mouth. I don't care if they're a 10-month sub or a 2-month sub. I permaban these idiots. You understand? Everything that I talk about, it's strictly double standard. It may not happen, like you said, 20% of the time, or even 10%, or even 5%. But that is what I preach. The 1%, even though 1% of the time is too many, it's 1% too much. And that is what I preach, 100%. And you know exactly what I preach. The reason I got angry, which I'm sorry I got angry to John earlier and to Destiny, maybe I should have kept my cool. I should have kept my cool. Even though I do think you're being disingenuous, I should have kept my cool regardless, because me freaking out isn't good. I have a deep voice, come off as an asshole. But realistically, if you go back in the VOD, I really did believe you were being disingenuous, gaslighting me, and just being an asshole. I really did believe, because you know what I mean when I say what I say. And if you want to clarify it to your community or to your host that you received, you can clarify it in your own words, very, very eloquently, and just simple to the cut. It doesn't have to be an interview process where you sit me on the stand and ask 10 different questions and then say, I have said, Train, you said you broadly talk about women. It's like, I never said this in any of the rants I talked about. I didn't use women or male in any of the rants I talked about, and you included that yourself. You include the words broad, you include the word women, you include that's what you did. You have to understand. You're preaching to me about effect of what I'm saying. How about having an understanding of the effect of what you're saying when you're putting the
sure, but like when you talk about like
I never brought
sure,
up.
But like this is why I said like it's a little disingenuous. When you talk about like the just chatting section is becoming just chatterbait, nobody there is thinking of guys. Nobody there is thinking of Canute. This is like a very specific type of thing that's being said, and the impression that's given to most people is
that says enough, doesn't it, Destiny?
Well, wait, what do you think it says?
If people are hearing me say the just chatting section is becoming like chatterbait,
okay,
and they're immediately not thinking of Canute,
okay,
then that's not me worrying about my effect. That's just the fact. That's just the fact of the just chatting section.
What is the fact of the just chatting section? What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, if their minds are immediately going to the leg streamers, then that's because it is overfilled with leg streamers.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, I don't want to run this whole argument down again, but now, do you see how we've gone from minority to now you're back to saying it's overfilled with leg streamers? So what is it? Is it 1%? Is it a minority? Or is it...
Listen, the leg streamer isn't the 1% minority I'm talking about. Yes, it's overfilled with leg streamers. What I'm referring to by Squad W is the minority of those streamers. Do you understand? So people who stream content that is revealing, not everybody that has revealing content does these things that calls you a sexist or calls you a misogynist. Only a very small percentage does that. My last thing is this. To everyone that calls me or my community an incel, I gotta say one thing to these fucking idiots. Listen, if me and my community are incels, I and we get more pussy than you. So God knows what the fuck you are. Like, is there a word for what you could be to these fucking simps calling us incels when we're getting more pussy than you? Like, shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Incel.
What did I come into?
I think we were just wrapping this one up.